Everything.
Okay. I don't know what happened here because this is the first time ever that you and I have switched spots.
On stream?
Legend. Yeah, on stream. I'm always
Oh, are we streaming right now?
we are live now.
Oh,
Um
I'm gonna
but
join so
normally
I can see the.
my face is under my name and your face is under your name, but it's just not like that this
Oh,
time.
because Pikeman
No, it was like
threw
that
it all
earlier
off.
before he joined.
Oh, oh, weird. I know. I always thought that you
I can't control our
made it
location.
intentionally or under our names. I thought you controlled it.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Also, when I saw that you joined, I just want to tell you that I feel really bad that you have to miss next week's patron chat because we have a surprise for so kind of a bummer that you're not going to be there. I know.
Wait, who am I here? Do you have your volume on the stream?
Mm-mm.
I can hear me.
I can hear you too. Oh, it might be Piteman. I think it's
Oh,
him because I see it picking up.
okay.
Five. You'd think I'd have my shit together.
Eh. We can
Yeah,
also
I'll tell
hear
you when. Don't
ourselves
worry.
through your stuff.
All right, see, there's rumble in the
Wayne, I'll totally
background at
tell
the
you later.
moment.
Yeah, because I feel like if we tell when, then you can decide if it's something you want to call out of work for. That way you know.
Oh, I have my phone right here. I can DM you right now.
Oh yeah.
So yes. Um Normally we don't reveal our surprise guest until the end of the episode, but with Pipe Man, it's a little bit special. So he's going to
Yeah.
be here for the beginning of the show, and then he'll go sit in um, chat for a little while, and then come back at the end. But Pipe Man is extra.
We love
Oh,
it.
it is ridiculous.
God, my
I was just
rabbit would have a field day in that room,
I
chewing
just
the cords.
the dog's test was to see um if she would chew cables, and so far she has not.
That's good. That's a good
But
thing.
you know, she does like to like investigate uh recording sessions, which is clients think she's cute, and then she
Hmm.
like jumps all over the people. All right, so if I go into the other room and switch that,
I'm so entertained already.
then you should be able to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Oh, I didn't hear any piano, if that's what you're talking about.
Oh shit.
I heard your voice. I saw you playing piano.
Oh, you heard my voice.
Yeah, but not the piano.
You probably have to switch the microphone setting in Google Meet.
Should be Q.
Right.
What is it on?
This is above my pay grade.
This is the second time that Pipe Man has been on the show.
Pipe Man
Right?
2, pipe hard, according to N7.
That is great.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
That's so
repipening.
funny.
The repipening.
I mean, you should be able to hear it.
Let's see.
I mean, you can.
No.
No?
I thought for a second I could, but then nothing. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Pipe.
Huh.
Keep them coming.
But you can hear. That's so weird.
What
Well,
microphone is feeding
everything.
into Google Meets?
Well, it's actually it's like a whole series of microphones.
Oh,
Like I have, it's like a mixer that goes into everything.
yeah,
Mixers, man.
It's stupid.
it is.
That's the bane
Google,
of our existence.
yeah.
We
Digital
haven't
mixers.
tested our audio clips either. Do you think they'll work, Jen?
Oh, they
Like
should.
for me? Okay.
Um,
Had to pipe a
Yeah,
man
I'm
in
getting
10 days.
smoother.
Ow.
here we go.
Stupid.
Standard check.
Love it.
Actually,
So here's your
You know what I
fucking spoiler
can-
alert.
Heard that.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
Hey, it me.
let's try.
So we always use the Sam clip as like our tester audio to see if things are going to work. So I have heard so here's your fucking spoiler alert.
So many times.
So many, like easily.
I recognize the waveform in audio now,
I
like
know, right?
immediately.
Can you hear this?
I know.
No,
No.
you can't hear it.
Really?
So-
amazing.
Oh,
Because I'm getting it.
oh boy, it's always us. It's us. Like every time we have to have something not.
Oh, cool.
Work
And then my webcam
audio.
just quit working.
I thought you turned it off on purpose.
Nope.
We were.
You should be able to hear that. I literally took the microphone I was using for my voice. Yes, no?
No.
No, I can hear it. It's just not coming through like the internet very well because I heard some notes. It's weird. Like it wasn't picking it up well or something. A short miracle.
Yeah, well.
Well,
That's what I
it's fine.
That's what I get
We had
for no
you had a
worries.
great idea.
I had a great idea and I should have well, yeah, fuck it.
If you want to record something and send it to me while we are recording our episode, you could do that.
Oh, and then you could play it that
I
way, I guess.
Could. I guess I could. Just like record it on my phone and then send it to you or something.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Hello, Sadie
It's-
Cakes 09. And Apollo. And my sister.
I know the whole gang's here.
Oh, golly gee.
I feel like
Well,
I'm also feeling like the stress level of, oh my God, we're running late and need to start the episode. But then I'm looking at the clock and it's like, we
It's only
were
9
early
minutes.
tonight. And so we're
Sure.
only like 5 minutes behind, which is absolutely nothing
Yeah.
for girls.
It's fine. At least our audio's working. For
Yep.
everyone watching, Pipeman wanted to play our intro live because he's here and he's the one who did it. But
Mhm.
for whatever reason, it doesn't want to pick up the piano.
it's so weird. Because like everything, because I'm looking at it on my end, and
Audio is a
both
mystery.
rooms. Like, come on.
And so, but
Is that
the issue that we have always come across is like Google Meets, Discord, and Zoom will pick up voice
Right.
audio really well, but then the second that you try and
Mhm.
play anything musical, it doesn't work. Like we quit playing
Huh.
the intro music while recording because it doesn't like to work over the internet and it'll sound choppy and we only get some of the bits. So we have to add the music in post.
After. Yeah.
so? Do you like? Is it like an echo thing or?
I don't really know. It
Huh.
depends. It depends on the day. It just doesn't work. I don't know. It works really well just adding the clip in post for the audio episode though. Like we play clips live, but for the episode, we'll put the intro music in afterward.
Oh wait.
Yeah, I'm playing the audio clip right now.
But you can't really hear it, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, so
That
I
was
don't
over
know
your
if-
speakers, wasn't it?
No, that was the
Oh.
same exact way that I play the other clips.
Oh, really? And
Yeah.
so the voice is that's interesting.
That's so weird. I mean,
But now chat over
See, can't you
stream
hear it?
probably heard
Wait.
it a little bit better.
I'm amazed you can't hear that.
No, we can hear like every other note. It just doesn't come through very well. I don't know why. I wish I could hear it. I would love to hear it. Did you guys hear it well,
Yeah.
Apollo? Like, did it sound
That's
normal to you? Because to me, it sounded like really choppy. Like I could hear a couple notes and then it would get quiet and then I could hear
So
another note.
Apollo's probably talking about the audio clip that I played
Oh,
because
yeah, you're
that
right.
goes directly
Maybe.
to stream. But yeah, he can't hear Pipe Man playing.
That's fine. We will record something special, and you can use it on a future episode.
Okay.
Hey, we always need mid-break intro, outro sounds if you ever are inspired.
You need swanky
Yeah.
jazz.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, cool. Well, in that case,
Okay,
I
get out
will
of here.
sit.
Just kidding.
So you just want to like leave the call and then come back,
Yeah.
or
That's
just mute myself.
either way.
I can just.
Well, I was like, you just turned your camera off on that one. That didn't work. But yeah.
No,
works.
that was intentional. I'll just turn off mic and.
Okay. All right. We can do it that way.
Don't forget to start your Audacity.
I will restart it, my dear. Yes.
Okay. I just started it, so I was like, maybe she didn't do it.
Oh, you know what? And maybe just because I can, I'm gonna do something really. Well, no. Okay. All right. Are we ready? Let's do this. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Ship, the podcast where we analyze, rate, and review all that the world of video game romances has to offer. I'm Genesis, the girl who has been happy dancing all week, knowing that we are getting ready to be back on the Normandy.
And I'm Bravada, a girl who it's kind of bittersweet for me because it means it's like the end of Mass Effect. And also this game is just sadder than the first two, but still happy to talk about our favorite characters. So very excited to be back.
And if you're new here, welcome to the beautiful chaos. But you should know that our podcast centers on character and romance analysis and doesn't shy away from exploring the fun of fucking.
Or from the deep emotional connections built between two characters using specific in-game dialogue. So if you want to stay spoiler free, then this isn't the podcast for you.
So here's your fucking spoiler alert.
Thanks for the spoiler alert, N7. And congratulations on recording episode 100 of the Mass Effect Lorecast this week. It's a huge accomplishment, and I am so proud of you. And just like with all of our previous episodes, we'll assume you have some background knowledge of the game and character in question, but we'll be providing context for those of you who may be unfamiliar.
On November 7th, 2021, Jen and I released our very first episode of this podcast about Liara in Mass Effect 1. We've talked about a lot of lovers since then. It's been one hell of a ride, huh?
The best.
I listened to the first episode again before writing the script, and while I hate my audio quality in that episode, it's still magical because it was the first ever Two Girls, One Ship. Today, we're back in the Milky Way for the final installment of the Mass Effect trilogy, Mass Effect 3. The stakes cannot be higher than in this game. It is life or death for all sentient life in the galaxy, and one Commander Shepard is not about to go down without a fight. Who they have by their side romantically is up to you, and we thought we'd start our journey with who some consider to be the canon romance for either male Shep or femme Shep, Dr. Liara to Sony. Liara to Sony. Dr. 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 Liara to Sony.
I don't know how you do it. You've always stayed focused even in the worst situations.
When there's so much at stake, I think about my friends, loved ones, what I'd lose if I failed.
Me too.
We'll stop them, Liara. Together.
I believe you. Or I believe that you believe. Maybe that's enough.
As you can tell from the audio, the plot of this game is much darker than the previous two. And, I started to tear up while recording the clips, so I might be in trouble tonight. But if you haven't listened to our previous episodes on Mass Effect, you should probably stop here and go back so you can have the full context of the romance. We will also be doing separate episodes on the massive Citadel DLC. So these Mass Effect 3 episodes will not be including the romance scenes in that DLC. That DLC needs all the attention it deserves, so we do not want to rush through it. So, at the start of Mass Effect 3, Shepard is in the brig. If you don't know, Shepard destroyed the Alpha Relay in the Bahak system to try and prevent the Reapers from entering the galaxy, as the Alpha Relay was both the oldest and the most powerful relay in the galaxy. The resulting explosion led to the deaths of about 300,000 Batarians. And even though it was an order from Admiral Hackett, it was a political and humanitarian shitstorm. Humanitarian? Bataritarian? Either way, there had to be repercussions, and that was imprisoning Shepard while the Alliance decided what to do with them. They took too long, though. The Reapers invade the Milky Way and attack Earth just as Shepard is brought before the Alliance. Shepard escapes and is back at the helm of the Normandy to kick some Reaper ass.
The beginning sequence of evacuating our home planet, as you watch these unearthly giant robots just decimating the city around you, to the melancholy piano of Clint Mansell's Leaving Earth, is just one of those game moments that will literally stay with me forever. It also really sets the tone for the game. The situation has always been bad in each Mass Effect, but this time it's desperate. Shepard has spent years warning everyone that the Reapers were coming, and not enough people took it seriously. It's 2 minutes to midnight on the Doomsday Clock, and the only hope of defeating the Reapers lies in Commander Shepard's extraordinary talent of banding together even the most staunchly opposed enemies, and Liara's Prothean expertise. In the Prothean archives located on Mars, Liara has discovered a blueprint for something called the Crucible, which appears to be a weapon capable of destroying the Reapers for good.
Liara and Shepard immediately hand over the blueprints to Hackett, and the Alliance begins construction. There is something that literally requires every species in the galaxy to participate. The blueprints were made by the Protheans, but the original concept of the Crucible was made millions of years ago by some now unknown species in a far-off cycle. Each cycle's sentient life has improved upon the design, and only the Protheans thus far have been actually able to build it. But they weren't able to deploy it. The modern-day Milky Way, however, is not going down without a fight. Liara is essential to convincing the Council of the feasibility of building it, and joins the Normandy crew again after this meeting. She takes Miranda's old office on the crew deck and makes it a fully functioning shadow broker's lair. Liara's information broker skills are literally the difference between life and death for the galaxy. Her contributions cannot be understated.
Yeah, she's pretty important. And of course, the council can't really decide on anything, and they continue to waffle on what should be done. It's up to the crew of the Normandy, as usual, to take action. The end of the prologue is rallying the other races to the cause at the Citadel. And then Act 1 starts with Priority Palaven, where you have to save the Turian Primarch. I always race through the prologue so I can get my best boy back as soon as possible. But this episode's about Liara. Regardless of romance option, Mass Effect 3 follows the same formula the previous 2 games have. Flirty banter up until right before the end missions where you get the romance culmination scene. Most companions get a sex scene, but not all of them do.
And I also realized that I never hit record on here, so I'm going to do that now.
Womp womp.
Whoops.
Record on the record.
Yeah. It's just extra backup, just in case. After you rescue the Turian Primarch off of Palaven, Liara will reminisce about her trip to the planet when she was much younger. She will wistfully talk about the mountains that go on forever, and compares it to the current decimated state of the planet. Liara has always been empathetic, and often serves to remind the players of the emotional stakes and repercussions of this war. She mourns every loss. Like we said in her episode for Mass Effect 1, she is the only companion who really asks how Shepard is doing. Like, really doing. Maybe it's because she mind melded with Shepard back in the first game, but she has always been acutely aware of what is going on with Shepard. And Shep can't hide anything from Liara.
Are you all right?
Ew. Weird shit's going on.
Are you all right?
I didn't get what you'd call a good night's rest.
There's more to it than that, isn't there? What's really bothering you?
When the Reapers hit, I could hear people screaming in the streets below me. We left a lot of them behind.
There's no way for you to save them all. But I know you're doing everything you can, and you'll get back there in time to help.
I hope you're right.
Don't blame yourself, Commander.
It's moments like this that remind us what exactly is at stake. Shepard can appear far too calm and collected sometimes, given what we know that they've seen so far. I don't think there is enough therapy, like at all, for any of them. But these moments with Liara help to ground Shepard as a human being and not just the infallible, death-defying commander. When you visit the Citadel, you have an opportunity to meet Liara's father, Matriarch Athena, who works at Apollo's Cafe. She apparently spies on Liara on behalf of the matriarchs, even though she's never met Liara in person before. Liara likes to sit at a table at the cafe and take care of her many administrative duties as Shadow Broker and VIA. That's very important, Asari, for the war effort. Shepard can prompt Athena to meet Liara, and when asked, Liara will say that she knows exactly who Athena is, of course. But she has no intention of speaking to her. Shepard can persuade her, though, and I would encourage this to be done in all playthroughs. They don't have much more time left in the galaxy, potentially. Shouldn't they at least speak?
So I went back and also listened to our episode 1 version of Liara, and I realized that I used a clip from Mass Effect 3 to talk about Mass Effect 1 Liara, and it was part of this conversation that you have with her dad right here. The anthropocentric bag of dicks comment is from Mass Effect 3's conversation right here. Love it. Okay, so Shepard can eavesdrop on this, which I highly recommend, obviously, because we must know all the lore. The conversations start off awkward, but soon leads to the two of them reminiscing about Liara's late mother, Benezia. Liara also learns a lot from Athena, like how Liara has a half-sister who is part Hanar, and how Athena was the one who first called Liara Little Wing, which is the nickname that Benezia often called her. Eventually, Liara will tell Athena that she is the best father a girl could wish for. Aren't you glad you pushed them to talk to each other now? In hard times, you have to lean on your loved ones. Why else do we struggle through them? Something has to make it worth it. And Liara can be one of those reasons for Shepard to carry on.
It's selfish, but I keep thinking that if we fail, I'm only 109, Shepard. I could live to see the entire cycle come to an end.
Only 109, huh?
I know, it must seem strange to complain about a 1,000-year lifespan. I used to think it was sad that most aliens live such short lives. Maybe it's not such a privilege to outlive so many, to witness so much death.
Or you could keep fighting.
I know, it's just difficult. Watching you get shot at out there. We finally have other leaders on our side, but none will take us as far as you can. Sometimes I wonder how you do it.
Every time the world's about to end, I think about how mad you'd get if I didn't stop it. I don't know if I could do this without you.
Our romance option definitely makes it easier to get through the hard days ahead. After rescuing the Primarch off of Palaven, the next main mission is to discuss the war efforts with the Krogan, Solarian, and Turian dignitaries, and then help a Krogan female nicknamed Eve, her real name is Bakara, to escape Cerberus. Bakara is the last surviving female from Malin's experiments in Mass Effect 2, and she holds the key to ending the Krogan genophage. Somewhere in here, you should also head to Grissom Academy to reunite with Jack and save her biotic students, if Jack is alive in your playthrough, but we're going to assume yes, because I will always assume everyone lives. I wish Morden could. His singing as he cured the genophage, wishing he had time to study the seashells, will still make me cry all these years later. This game is just a bundle of adrenaline and sadness.
I can't start talking about Morden, or I will cry. Like we already said, Liara is the emotional touch point for the companions to reflect how exactly they are coping with this world-ending shit. And she is also the anchor for Shepard, romanced or not. At one point, she will come to Shepard's cabin and ask how they would like to be remembered by the future generations and cycles. She's created a time capsule with vast stories of information, like the Crucible blueprints and the data on the Reapers, as well as cultural informations on the races of this cycle. She wants Shepard to be highlighted in this capsule so that their impact will never be forgotten. And she will place multiple copies on various planets to ensure at least one will survive. In all the turmoil, sadness, destruction, and war, Liara, the nerdy scientist, is the only one to think to preserve this knowledge for the future, leaving behind everything an archaeologist like her would need 50,000 years from now.
It's so good. Liara's driving force throughout all three games is her unyielding thirst for knowledge. The reason we sought her out all the way back in Mass Effect 1 was because she was the best Prothean expert in the galaxy at the tender age of 106. This is an age where her fellow Asari are typically stripping or working as mercenaries, but instead, Liara is digging through ancient ruins by herself to earn her doctorate. She's singular in her passion for learning and her almost childlike sense of wonder that she carries with her, even in the darkest times of the trilogy. Every step she has taken has been to seek more knowledge. She became an information broker, then the shadow broker, and now in the final game, she puts all her skills to the test and discovers the key to stopping the Reapers. No one else could have done this. No one else had the knowledge of the Protheans needed, or the stubbornness and skill to fight Cerberus to get it. Liara lost her naivete, that's true, but she adapted to the world around her as it got worse and worse. And yet she never lost who she was at her core. She started out looking back in awe at the ancient race, and now she looks forward with hope at the future should the Crucible fail. If only we could have more characters like Liara.
There is so much running around the galaxy still to do. We aren't going to summarize the entire game for you. There are a lot of choices here, and maybe you didn't play it the way that we did. But if you want the happiest ending, you should probably rally every resource and every troop you can and do every single side mission ever. 100% the game. It's better that way. When Cerberus tries to take over the Citadel in a coup, make sure to not kill your Vermeer survivor. Go to the Ardok Yakshi Monastery and save Samara and her daughter Falair. During Priority Rannoch, make sure you've prepared everything to pass the reputation check so the Geth and the Quarians become allies for the war effort, and Tally lives. Because I lived through that scene once, and never, ever again. Ugh. And then, after all of that, we come to Priority Thessia, the homeworld of the Asari, to supposedly find information on where to find the catalyst.
Sorry, my rabbit started chewing something. I'm like, what the heck? I thought he was chewing the carpet. He's not. Anyway.
Serious fun. We're recording a podcast right now.
I know. It's like I call him my paper shredder, and I have this basket full of paper that needs to be shredded, and I call it his backlog. And he's actually working on it right now. Anyway. Liara insists on going with Shepard to Thessia, obviously distraught over the Reaper invasion of her planet. When you reach the temple, you can wander around it a little bit and learn even more about the Protheans. I highly recommend bringing Javik along for this mission with Liara, as the two of them together are able to discuss lore in more detail than other squad mates. It turns out that the Protheans interfered with the Asari's early development as a species, which is why they're so much more advanced than the others who inhabit the Milky Way. You can speak to another Prothean VI here named Vendetta, which I find very interesting. This VI held the secrets of the Crucible, so it was placed to exact revenge on the Reapers. The word vendetta means prolonged and bitter feud, rivalry, or contention. This VI is located inside the temple to the matriarch goddess of the Asari religion, the goddess Athame, who ruled over prophecy and fate. The word Athame is a ceremonial. The word Athame means a ceremonial knife used in many pagan practices in the real world, usually used to craft a protection circle. I love all these connections, and I also can't talk today, apparently.
Also interesting is each of the 3 Prothean VIs we meet start with the letter V. Vigil on Ilos and ME1, Vendetta here, and Victory, the VI overseeing the bunker on Eden Prime where you find Javik. So that's just interesting. So, back to the temple. Kai Lang shows up and helps destroy what's left of the temple as Shepard and Squad escape. Liara is understandably devastated about the loss of her homeworld and shocked about what she's learned about the Protheans and their meddling in Asari development 50,000 years ago. Again, I highly suggest taking Javik with you at least once on this mission. There's so much lore that he adds to the story. Liara is also angry at her mother, who kept the knowledge of the beacon in the temple from her. Liara's personal flaw is her intense feelings of insignificance. She feels guilty at not having done enough, especially after Thessia. I mean, taking a step back, Liara is probably the most significant character of the entire trilogy. She is one of the very few romance options that can occur during all 3 games. And we'll get into just how much more is shown during her romance scenes as well. She is the only squad mate recruited before Mass Effect 3 that can't die. And she is the reason Shepard is alive, and the Crucible is able to be built at all. Liara is key to the entire plot. And, well, okay, she can die, but not until the very end of the game. Low preparedness score, low war assets, and then you take her on the run to the beacon, and both of your squaddies get blown up by Sov. But obviously, we aren't doing that.
No, none of us are dying today. I also would argue that BioWare canonized her survival by including her in the teaser for the next Mass Effect game, but I digress. Liara and Shepard now have the unique bond of watching their homeworld burn from the Reaper invasion. Super fun for them. But Liara has the added disappointment of her rose-colored glasses for the Protheans being unceremoniously yeeted into the sun by Javik. She has long thought of them as this utopian society that held all the answers. But all this time, the fate of the galaxy has rested solely on the crew of the Normandy's shoulders. There's no one coming to save them. Liara's faith in everything has been damaged, not just in herself and in truth and the Protheans, but also in her actual faith, because Javik revealed her goddess was just a Prothean idea to explain the Asari. In reality, the Protheans basically just bred stronger and better Asari, leading to how they are today. But, like, her whole world has come crashing down, literally and figuratively. Shepard can help her to find the strength to keep going, just as Liara does for Shepard in their moments of weakness.
Liara can also be a welcome distraction from the horror going on around them. But before we embrace eternity, let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors, list off some fun facts, and of course, thank our patrons. Oh, okay, and I gotta move my body. I don't know how I got so out of shape.
Dude, I don't know. I'm literally drinking green juice for that very reason. Oh,
Oh,
vitality.
I meant physically my body was in a weird angle, so I don't know how I got out of the wrong positional shape.
Dude, my leg is half asleep, but it's the curse of having a snuggly cat. Curse and blessing.
All right, now that my body's back in shape, let's get to some fun facts. Liara is voiced by actress Allie Hills. Or is that Hillis? Hillis? I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Allie.
I think it's Hillis because there's an I in there.
Okay. Whose voice you may recognize from other games. She has also voiced Lightning from Final Fantasy XIII and Scout Harding in Dragon Age Inquisition. Liara also made a sort of cameo appearance in Mass Effect Andromeda, where you can unlock audio logs of Alec Ryder, the player character's father, and Liara communicating about Prothean data research. But it's data research from before the Ark left, so before a lot of things happened. It was like during Mass Effect 2, right? It was pre-3?
Yeah, it's like 2185, I think, is when they left, and when that must have happened. And 2186 is the Reaper invasion. So, yeah, I'm not sure about months, but whatever. It was before.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have a fun fact. I like that little Easter egg of her in Andromeda because it helps remind us that Liara is, before all else, a Prothean scholar. Like, she has freaking research papers and shit. It's easy to forget what a scientist she is sometimes, as we really only see her as Shatterbroker Mommy in the later games. A fun fact I have also is one of the composers for Mass Effect 3's soundtrack, I mentioned this already in the beginning, is Clint Mansell, who is also known for composing the soundtracks for Requiem of a Dream, Black Swan, and I think a couple episodes of Black Mirror. But Mass Effect 3 is the only video game he's ever composed for. So that's pretty cool.
That is cool. All right. Time to thank the patrons. Toasty, Apollo, Miss Theos, Win, Bat Knight, Lizzie, Becky, and the Cups. Loves, major loves. All right.
Thank you, patrons. And Jen, are you ready to embrace eternity one last time?
Oh, I'm ready.
Show me.
It would be easy for a single ship to get lost up there, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It would.
To find someplace very far away, where you could spend the rest of your life in peace and happiness.
Right now, there's no place I'd rather be.
Neither would I. I love you, Shepard.
I love you too, Liara.
Show me.
Wow. It starts off with an amazing butt shot. And this is probably the mask side of me, but Broshep's face in this scene is pure seduction and lust. That is a man who knows he is about to be satisfied, but oh, he is going to give as much as he gets. Whew. The biotic flare is so reminiscent of the original embrace in Mass Effect 1. It is perfection. And this is hands down the most artistic sex scene I have seen to date. It is good. Yuna and Titus get winner for artistic implied sex. It's gorgeous. But Shep and Liara, they are straight up fucking in this scene. The way that she fits perfectly onto his thrusting hips while they are swirling in the endless expanse that is the mind meld. It is a masterpiece. The only critique that I have is that it doesn't change. The sex between FemShep and Liara is exactly the same. I'm sorry, but there is little to no person for a woman to straddle another woman like that. Unless straps are involved, rubbing your butt on my lower stomach is not going to do much for either of us. We will get to this a little bit. We will get to this in a later episode, but they changed the sex between Broshep and Caden compared to the FemShep and Caden scene, which I love and appreciate. Thank you. But for Liara, the Azure Queen, you don't change it? So that makes me more than just a little bit sad. I hope that moving forward in games, you consult someone who has that type of sex while blocking the animation. Anyone who has had dual vaginal sex would have instantly spotted that and said, no, that's not how it works. I also think that V has a lot of thoughts and feelings about this from the romance side of things. So why don't you take the reins, my dear?
Um, well, you covered it very well so far, but I completely agree with your critique. Like that actually when I was watching these scenes for both Broshep and Femshep, that was immediately what I noticed too. Watching this scene as Femshep just took me out of the moment. Like it didn't seem right or real, you know? It's a much better scene with Broshep, and I wish they had animated it differently depending on your shepherd. But overall, I just think the scene is so beautifully animated. Like, I wish all the romances in this game were treated with this much time and effort and fantasy, because let's admit it, that scene is pure fantasy for so many players. I wanted to point out that the song playing in the background is the song I Was Lost Without You from the Mass Effect 3 soundtrack. It's a beautiful piece of music that really, really captures that feeling of sanctuary between these two. As with all the other Mass Effect games, the romance culmination scene takes place before the final battles. This moment where the two of them dream about running far away to live in peace and happiness is only a moment of distraction from the grim reality they face. There's no running here. These two will see this through to the end, and the end is here, once and for all.
The last interactions that you have with Liara take place in the final push for Earth, in London, to the beam that will take you to the Citadel to activate the Crucible. The odds were never in their favor, and Shepard can say some final farewells to their loyal and beloved companions. The sounds of battle are in the background, and it's hard not to think about the sacrifices about to be made. When you meet up with her at the forward operating base, Liara will offer her dear friend, or her lover, one last gift before they make the push to the beam. One last moment of peace and happiness. I cut about 45 seconds out of this clip for audio purposes, but V will go over what we see during that quiet time.
I do have one thing for you, Shepard. A gift. It'll only take a moment, if you want it.
What kind of gift?
Do you remember when I first joined my consciousness to yours? I can show you some of my own memories. Asari exchange them sometimes, with good friends, or their bondmates. It can also be a way to say farewell.
Show me.
Close your eyes. Thank you for everything. I love you. Now, let's do what needs to be done.
My heart.
So good. I know. Well, the part that you don't hear, it's something you see. And if you romance Liara, the two will kiss passionately, brightly backlit against the void. If not, Liara will lay her head gently on Shepard's shoulder, looking on her memories together with her greatest friend. Either way, it's a beautiful moment. This is why I don't personally feel like I'm missing out on anything if I don't romance her. They still love each other anyway, just platonically. It's a wonderful friendship between two extremely capable and amazing beings. I absolutely love that the romance doesn't take away the friendship either. It's both. This is another great example where they make each other better, not complete. A Paragon Shepherd can encourage Liara not to lose her light when everything is so very dark. And a Renegade Shepherd can embrace the darker part of her that others shy away from because she is silk-covered steel. She only looks harmless.
Love it. And that, lovely listeners, is where we would normally end our show. But tonight, we have a special guest. And when this episode is released, it will have been exactly 1 year since this guest has been on the show. Last year, we interviewed Pipeman about how video games can help heal those of us missing our squad mates, and how the thought of Turians and Silkies is disturbing, but we would still want to see it. Tonight, we brought Pipeman back onto the show to talk about his favorite Asari, the nerdy scientist, Liara. Hello!
Hello. Since I could not provide live music tonight, I figured I would take my creativity elsewhere and share something that I came up with just this afternoon. Well, this evening. For those of you who cannot see what's happening, we are making a cocktail that I am now calling By the Goddess.
Ooh,
And it's blue.
it
It
is
is blue. Here you are.
Cheers!
Me and my boring ass green juice.
I would like to also point out
Oof.
that Pipeman is an amazing mixologist. He created for me the Garrusgasm.
Wait, I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
You'll
And
have to read the subtext on that.
oh, okay. The Garrusgasm. Blue curacao, creme de violet, and heavy cream. In a shaker full of ice, combine the cores. Shake and strain into a shot glass. Fill the other shot glass with cream. Liquor shot, cream chaser. Turians based on dextroamino acids, human ingestion of tissue could prove allergic reaction, anaphylactic shock possible, so don't ingest. Dr. Morden Solis.
Why did you put so much cream in it? Oh boy.
It's from the entire
Because-
catalog of the Glass Effect, where Pipeman made 12 months of Mass Effect related drinks.
I never heard of this. That's
Well, you need to
amazing.
spend more time on Discord, Mama.
I'm sorry. I'm an introvert.
Well, I will send out a link. It is still available. And hopefully, if I can get enough time, I will stream sort of a cocktail hour each month with like an instructional on how to make the beverage, and I don't know, we can sit around and talk.
I
That
can't
sounds
wait for
awesome.
that.
We can put the link in the description if you want for the episode.
Sure. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send it.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
All right. I think we should also start with the introduction. Hi, how
Yeah.
are ya? Who are ya?
Well, thank you, and yourselves.
I said, who are you?
Oh, who am I? Who
Yes.
am I? Excellent question. My name is Andrew, although you probably know me as Pipe Man, so called because I run Pipe Man Studios out in Connecticut, which is a full service recording studio where I do a lot of recording, music production, and all the sorts of stuff that you hear on podcasts and streams and the likes. So,
Like our intro music, for instance.
like
Mhm.
your intro music,
Yes.
which I have to say is actually one of the only pieces of music that has not been written down at all. It was an improvisation with a friend of mine, Jeff. He came over one night and I said, "Hey, I need to write some music for this podcast. You want to help me out?" And so the two of us just decided to improvise the whole theme, and I think it should just stay stay like that. So I don't dare publish it because it is two girls, one ship. And that's
It's
what she'd say.
exclusive.
It's so cool. I love that story. I'm jealous of musicians because I grew up in a very musical family. And then for some reason, they never made me learn an instrument. And then when I was 16, I begged for a cello, played cello for like 3 years, and then I left for the Navy and I haven't touched it since. So it's in my closet, but I don't know how to play it anymore. And I keep being like, I'm going to do it one day. And that day hasn't come yet. But I love that skill and that talent. And you definitely have it. And
Thank
also
you.
thank you, Jeff, for the other part of the theme
I
song
will
that you contributed.
I will pass it on.
Oh, awesome.
All right. So, normally, our first question is for you to give us a little bit of your origin story and how you came to love Mass Effect. But, like I mentioned, we literally did an entire episode about your origin story with Mass Effect. So, if you want the Pipe Man X BioWare love story, please see episode 12. Two veterans, one girl. Which, by the way, the title of that episode had me fucking cracking up because I didn't know about it until after V produced the episode. And I was like,
My sneaky, sneaky ways.
yes. I love it though.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go with the first real question for the night. We discussed a lot of things about Liara today. Did you learn anything new?
I can't say that I learned anything new, but I think more importantly, I was reminded of so many things that um sort of form that connection to Liara, not only as a character, but as this fixture within not just ME3, but the entire trilogy. I had sort of forgotten about a lot of the conversation that happens with uh, Atheta,
Mm-hmm.
Matriarch Atheta at the bar, and so that was sort of fun to be reminded of. And even earlier in the game, um, you really find out that it's because of Liara that the galaxy even has a chance at surviving the Reaper invasion, because she's the one who's at the archives on Mars, who discovers the blueprints for the Prothean device. And it's due to her that everything that follows is possible. So it was nice to sort of be reminded of just how important a character she is.
We wouldn't have Shepard if it wasn't for
Yeah.
Liara.
No.
Literally every single game, like I think that's what's so funny about games. First of all, it's like we play as Shepard, so everyone just automatically assumes that Shepard is the most important person. And so many people in the game too talk about how amazing Shepard is, but no one ever talks about Liara like that really. And she's always in the background. That's kind of where she's comfortable, I guess. But like it's literally all thanks to Liara in every single game that we even stood a chance. First game was interpreting the Prothean beacon and all that jazz. And then, second game, saving Shepard
Mm.
and just everything, becoming the Shadow Broker. And then the third game, doing all that and getting the Crucible. Like the entire galaxy would have just died if it wasn't for her. But everyone says if it wasn't for Commander Shepard instead. I don't
Well,
know.
there's that. I mean, and I know this is. I guess I'll have to sort of adjust this adage because of the sort of monogender that Asari are. But there's that phrase that, behind every strong man is a powerful woman. And I think even if we remove genders and roles, we should just change it to, behind every strong commander is a powerful broker or Asari.
Scientist, nerdy, kick-ass
Mhm.
blue lady.
I mean, Shepard
all
definitely
Yeah, you
is
never-
the face of it. Even if you're playing as Fem Shep, it's still Commander Shepard. So regardless of that, so I think but Shepard is a good face. You know,
Mm.
they're the first
Yes.
human Spectre. They're expected to be something bigger and grander because it's like the humans got to live up to the stories that you've been telling. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is like they're all the best of the best. It's just that Liara is the most important, like arguably, because they would have had the best of the best regardless, but none of them could have done anything if it wasn't for Liara providing the opportunity to fight back. So,
I mean, that's why she survives. Actually, I should mention, I guess I didn't know that she can actually die at the end of Mass Effect 3 if if your assets are too low or if
I
you
just don't
don't
think it
quite make the right
counts,
choices.
you know.
And I think it's at that point that you have to kind of, unless, I mean, this is a role playing game. I mean, we are, encouraged to play different scenarios. But how could you not put in the maximum effort into that relationship
Oh,
after everything that she's done for you? I mean, for you, just between saving your life, saving the galaxy, how can you not ensure that she survives?
I fully agree with that. The only time that I've ever heard of that happening is the chaos runs where you intentionally go in with those mindsets
Yeah.
of I'm going to kill off as many people as I can. And those are really interesting. So I think it would hurt a lot for me to actually do it myself, but it's interesting to play it out that way because somebody took the time to write the dialogue differently. Somebody took the time to do all those different steps, and for you to have a completely different experience playing the game through for the 800th time, you can do it a different way this time. And so while I would never have it be my canon run, not the true way that I would want to play the game, it would definitely be interesting to see.
Oh, and I have to imagine that it would make the 801st playthrough when you go back to your canon run through just that much more impactful. I mean, I'm doing a run through right now. And I finished ME2 last night, and I knew I had to sit down and talk ME3 Liara with you tonight. So I changed the difficulty level to casual and I think I did the suicide mission and the arrival DLC in like an hour and 12 minutes or something obscene.
Wow.
And just rushing through it, trying to get to, I started ME3 tonight and I just got to Mars. We had our, Liara reunion, and, I mean, yeah, that was a bit of a chaos run. But, coming back to a canon playthrough, which for me, I always turn it up to insanity because it is facing overwhelming odds, and I think your playthrough should elicit some frustration when you can't get past a certain point, and it makes those moments, those reunions just so much more impactful. So I don't. It's
V,
it's now that
I
we're
was
I
like,
guess now that we're in ME3.
I thought you were going to talk and I didn't want to interrupt you, so I waited. I'm sorry. No, I'm not that type at all. Like I'm a easy mode girl because I want to feel like a god when I'm playing a game. I'm just here for the story, but I never really considered it that way of like making it actually feel as hard as it is narratively supposed to be. That's kind of a good idea. I just don't think I would be able to finish the game because I just don't have the time for that or the skill probably. But yeah,
Somebody had posted
casual.
on Discord, um something about like what's oh no, it was a streamer. I was part of a raid party, and a streamer who was doing their first Mass Effect run through, and they mentioned something about am I doing this right? Like what what's the right way to play this game? And so I just commented. I said, the fact that you're playing the game, that is the right way to do it. I mean,
Aw.
so if you want to do it for the story, if you want to do it for the combat, if you there is no wrong way to play it. It is your story to live.
Hmm.
So,
I know. I think people
yeah.
get hung up over like what kind of like are you gamer enough? I'm like, anyone who plays games is a gamer. We don't
So,
gatekeep experiences here.
no.
But back to Liara.
Yeah.
So we obviously know that you've picked her and we've talked about because she's super important. Do you think there could have been anything differently done for her romance in Mass Effect 3 to make it better or change that what something you would have changed?
I think one of the so I just got to Mars and I just reunited with Liara, and that opening scene where she's crawling through the vents, chased by a couple of Cerberus troops. She kicks her way out of the vent, throws up a singularity, and then just headshots them both. Is it's such a turning point in her character from this sort of timid schoolgirl kind of figure into, oh wait, this is like the new shadow broker. This is And as well as the romance is done, I think I do wish that there was a little bit more of the interaction between Shepard and Liara that's not centered around the, I don't want to say inferiority, um, but ME1 and ME2 were it was always like Shepard's the leader, Shepard's the um he's taking point on everything, and Liara's the one who's asking for help, who's struggling, who's who takes kind of a backseat role in the relationship. I would love to see Liara do more of the leading, to have it be a more balanced relationship. And it doesn't matter if it's broshep, femshep, um, but any sort of improvement in that romance, put the player, I want to be as the player, I want to be put in the situation where I'm the one asking for her help. I mean, I know she saves your life in ME2, but you're not around for that. Um, so I think it'd be really, really neat to sort of to flip the power dynamic, to sort of invert the, to call a role reversal of sorts. Um, to have Shepard go, well, I know I just came back from the dead and I'm taking charge now. No, it's I've been out for 2 years. I need you to lead. I think that would be really neat to see.
Yeah, and I think we see that for a split second in the Citadel DLC, which I know that we didn't talk about tonight, and we'll definitely give Liara her own moment in that. I love it when we see Liara. Shepard is down and out, only has a pistol with no more freaking ammo left in it, not wearing any of their armor. And Liara just saunters up in total badass mode and having a rough day, Shepard. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
Liara.
Yeah. I like it's like it's that little bit of sass too, which I kind of it's that it's she's building not only the self-confidence to take on physically situations, but to own it, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, she's now the shadow broker, right? And even though she spent most of the shadow broker fight, in cover, I, I mean, her character grows so much. It's like, honey, own it. All right. Like you've gotten to this point. It's yours. Like, I'll save the galaxy, but I don't want to be the only one responsible for it.
Yeah, that's why there's hope, I feel like. Like, I know we said that she could technically die. I just think it's stupid that they did that though, because like they put her in the trailer. She's clearly aged up a lot
Right.
for the next game. So like I think she's the perfect person to have at the helm for like rebuilding things. Because she knows
Yeah.
everything, she knows everybody, she's very, very adept and intelligent. And what's crazy is she's only 109. Like we've only seen her as an Asari youth for 3 years, and she's changed that much.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
it's really cool. I mean, it's also unfortunate because you're like, for me, I guess I think of it as like a mom point of view. And if she's supposed to be like the equivalent of a human, I don't know, like 18-year-old, and I'm just like, I don't, you've lost your childhood now because she had to grow up really fast. So, and
Right.
she was always more responsible. What other better word was there than responsible? Because I don't want to like shame the Asari maidens that go be strippers or mercenaries, but like, they're just kind of having fun and experiencing life and learning stuff. Whereas Liara is like very dedicated and focused already. She's like that kid who was born and was like, I'm gonna become a doctor. And they're like 4 years old and then they become a doctor. They
Yeah.
actually have that motive. Like that's Liara. She's
I
just
mean,
always known.
when you live to 1,000, and your phases of life are just different.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
And
but she spent so much time in the backseat as the timid
yeah.
academic. Um, I mean, I'm looking forward to the next game in the
Hmm.
hopes that they really flush out her character, not just more backstory or memories or any of that. As important as that stuff is, I want to see who she becomes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because
and
that's like 700-year-old Liara at that point.
yeah,
She's a matriarch, you
mhm,
know?
Yeah. I definitely need Liara to not regress at all in her character development. She has become what I view is like her final form. She's in her ultimate badass mode. She's secure in her capability to do all the things, but she
mm,
still holds on to her level of empathy and caring. And she, I, when she asks about how the other squad mates are doing when you're talking with Shepard, she asks about after you go and save Jack. She has words about her. She talks with Garrus. She makes sure that everybody that Shepard cares about is also being taken care of.
hmm.
Claire's great. Um, but
I mean, when she sets up her office as her Shadowbroker office on the Normandy, and you go in and without speaking to her, but you just hang out there, you get like these background audio dialogues that happen between her and other shipmates, which I think is just it's great. It's such an organic addition to the environment.
mhm.
So, and there's little bits of humor that here and there, which I think is fun. I think there's that what joke is it Joker that wants to know, are her head frills semi rigid cartilage,
Cartilaginous.
whatever.
Yeah.
Or,
Do they
yeah,
Are her
yeah,
flail?
hair tentacles?
yeah. And the way she responds is just like, like really, this is like we're saving a galaxy, and this is what you want to know. But it makes her just that much more of a, I think, possibly a relatable character. I
Hmm.
know a lot of people think that she's kind of bland in that overly academic, nerdy, um, you know, persona, but I do love those moments of where she breaks character just ever so slightly. And you go, man, I really want to hang out with you after like 2 drinks and just
Hmm.
let you talk. And, who are you really?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I want to
but I think
know.
that's.
Did you know that
Oh,
Liara
sorry.
smokes? No, did you know that Liara smokes cigarettes? That was one little factor that I found while watching the videos. She sits in their little hangout
Really?
zone. Yeah, she sits in the hangout zone with Garrus, and they are sitting there. There is one lit cigarette pointing towards Liara, while Garrus is holding the drink in his on the couch in the other side.
Is
So
this in the
that's
party
Liara's
for
cigarette.
Citadel?
Nope, on the Normandy.
Oh,
Like where the little poker room
I see.
is and where Tally goes and gets
like where
drunk with her
Kazumi goes?
induction part,
Oh shit! Huh?
where Kasumi
I don't know
was
if I've
in
ever
that
noticed
too.
that.
Yeah, I missed that. Garrus is a bad influence.
Do we
Paulo.
know? Do we know? Do we know that it's a cigarette? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It looks like a
It-
cigarette to me. And
Maybe it's pot.
Caden and Vega smoke
embrace
cigars in that
eternity.
room.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I
Well,
mean, we all have our vices,
Yep.
mhm.
and if you're saving the galaxy, then I have absolutely no judgment. You do
Honestly,
whatever.
she doesn't even have one as far as we know, so let her have that one.
Oh, a
Like,
Oh,
she
vice.
doesn't,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
everyone
isn't
else
it
has a guilty pleasure.
Turians? I think it's Turians. Like it's like recreational drug use is fine as long as it doesn't impact the mission.
Yeah, and
So
apparently
yeah,
like fighting on the ship and then banging on the ship, that's all A-okay as well.
yeah. As long as you get the job done, whatever.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Hmm.
All right. I think before we wrap up the show tonight, is there anything that you want to shout out or plug, Pipe Man?
Or last Liara thoughts.
Sure. Any last Liara thoughts? There's never a last one because as soon as there's a last one, you just start a new playthrough.
Truth.
So, um, so I'm starting a whole bunch of sort of in-house studio projects now that I'm somewhat more around. I left my job out of state, and now I have more time to do some musical projects. Um, so I'm hoping to launch a stream at the end of this month. I have a whole bunch of different ideas, gaming streams, cooking and mixology streams. So if you like, hey, what's you know, Pipe Girl's making dinner and Pipe Man's off in the corner drinking something that looks ridiculous. Um, so I've been toying around a lot with that. Obviously, it's kind of there's a lot to do just to get up and running. So please stay tuned with that. I'm on the Discord, Pipe Man. I'm probably trying to think here. I'm on almost every day. I'll admit it. That Discord's my new Facebook. But if you're interested in any of the music that I write, in addition to this podcast, there are several other podcasts. At this point, the Dragon Age Lorecast, the Assassin's Creed Lorecast,
Mass
what other
Effect Blue Shift,
podcasts? Mass Effect Blue Shift. That's yep.
The Fight Space.
Yeah, Fight Space. Thank you. Hey, you've got a better handle on my work than I do. You're hired.
No, I just listened to
And
those
then,
shows.
oh, you did. But and I'm usually in the middle of writing stream music. I'll try to announce when new stream music. I know N7. I've written stream music for him before. I'm working on some more music for him at the moment. But outside of the podcast and Discord world, you can find me at pipemanstudios.com. That's PIPEMAN studios.com. You can buy my music if you wish. I have 3 albums, both as a studio percussionist and composer, and I have an album of traditional Irish music, which I do on the side. So feel free to check that stuff
Oh,
out.
right.
But
You speak
oh
Gaelic,
yeah,
right? Irish Gaelic?
I Scots Gaelic, yeah.
Oh, Scott. Okay, you
Which
speak Scotch Gaelic.
it's, I mean, the only difference between Irish and Scots is like blood alcohol content, I
Yeah.
think. But yeah, no, that's where to find me. I will be posting more announcements soon about stuff that I'm doing on the Discord, so stay tuned. We do have our own Discord server now. So I will post that in the show notes, maybe.
Yeah. No, we
Yeah,
will
just
totally
tell us
link PMS
Cool.
in the show notes.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll link all the things.
Yeah, link has PMS, Pipeman Studios, PMS. It's a great time. But again, I am a one-man show when it comes to everything that you see going on here. So if you have questions, I'm not very good at the whole publicity thing. So at me, DM me. I'm more than happy to answer questions and tell you where to find me.
And he is always willing to share pictures of Pipe Puppy.
Yeah,
Pipe
Pipe
Dog.
Dog, who I can hear walking back and pacing back and forth upstairs. So I think it's, since it's almost midnight, I think she's ready for bed.
Dad, it's past your
Yeah.
bedtime. Let's go to bed.
Yeah, it is.
That's what my cat's saying. He's been asleep the whole time in my lap, though, so I don't know why he's complaining that it's past his bedtime.
All right.
But yeah,
Well, let's wrap
thank
this
you.
up and let everybody go to bed. Thank you for coming on to the show,
Thank you
especially like
so much for having
last
me.
minute.
Yeah,
Of course. I
always
mean,
welcome.
I think Genesis, you sent me a message, and it took me a long time to respond because I'm bad at that. But I was like, oh, is my schedule clear? Yes, it is. So I love being on the show. Thanks for having me.
Okay. All right. If you like what you're hearing, please be sure to leave a review on iTunes or give us a rating on Spotify and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can now find me on the Cyberpunk Lorecast with my co-host Hosty, where we explore the foundations of the past, the state of Night City today, and news of the future for all things cyberpunk. And of course, in our Two Girls, One Ship channel on the Robots Radio Discord. And come give us a follow on all the social medias and on patreon.com/2girls1ship. Links to those are in the description.
I'm on the Robots Radio Discord as well, and on our own Two Girls One Ship Discord server where we nerd out on all our favorite CGI significant others. Be sure to check out our live streams on Twitch on Fridays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Our podcast episodes release on Mondays because you need at least one good thing on a Monday.
So thanks for listening. And remember,
Beauty is in the eye of the controller.
yay!
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 Yay.
Yes.
Yay! Oh,
So-
definitely
chat,
require
you guys have
type
been
puppy
amazing
pictures.
tonight. I've been trying to follow through all of it, but it's like, oh my gosh, we've got lots of chatties tonight.
Oh yeah. I know if you saw me looking down at all, it was either me staring lovingly at my cat or responding to a comment to try and be like present there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it was funny. I made one of these earlier just to make sure that it would like work, flavor wise and
cool.
presentation wise. I'm gonna feel this tomorrow. But I'm not working tomorrow. At
That's
least
good.
not with power tools. So that's fine.
That's a good thing.
So what's
Mhm.
in the drink? What is the Blue Goddess?
What is by the
By the
goddess?
Oh, by the
Yep.
goddess.
Gin,
Jen.
Jen.
Drambuie.
What is that? I've never heard of that.
Drambuie. Drambuie is it's a liqueur from Islay in Scotland.
Oh,
It's so do you know how like you've heard of like wine and then port? like
Yep.
which is like a fortified wine with. Or this is the port version of Scotch whiskey.
Okay.
Yep.
I do love me some whiskey. Never heard that
We got some
before.
blue
I can promise you,
curacao,
Apollo, it's not spelled the way you just spelled it. If it's any kind of Irish.
and then creme de violet, which is what I
Ooh,
dropped in to get
the
the thing.
the like indigo
Which,
color.
yeah,
I
that's
was like,
Pretty.
you are out of violet, sir.
So, well, it's funny
Gosh.
because as soon as I was like, oh well, I have to, I'm gonna sit here for a while, and we couldn't, like, for some reason Google does not like piano,
Mm-mm.
which
I know.
is fine. It's not like I haven't had it tuned recently, so it probably saved your ears. I was like, oh, maybe I'll go make something. Just
The muses. They hit.
Mhm.
You must answer the call.
I will. I will post. I'll post the recipe in the. I like the recipe or like share your pics or happy hour channels. If anyone's if anyone's interested.
Gonna need to go shopping. I literally don't have any of those things. I have Apothic Red Blend and some whiskey.
Yeah, it's funny. Like doing the whole calendar thing was like I wanted it to be exotic and like just and
Yeah.
different than like rum and coke. But I also realized that not everybody has spent the past 15 years plus like acquiring interesting things and so I can't just say, oh, here, go out and spend $500 or whatever. I don't whatever the number is. So but I
It
do
also
believe that there's going to be a volume 2, and the volume 2, instead of it being a calendar, it'll be a cookbook. I'm working on recipes, like food recipes.
Mm.
So that'll be fun.
You should
So
make a Mass Effect food cookbook like they have like the Skyrim one or the
Yeah,
Outlander kitchen
that's
one.
that's exactly what I'm thinking.
I love it.
I have to navigate the whole like IP law and copyright
Oh,
shit.
right. They are
It's
coming out with a Dragon Age one later this year, apparently. A Dragon Age cookbook.
I mean, I've tweeted it like BioWare and EA with like some of the cocktail like recipes. I'm like, hey guys,
Senpai
uh
notice me.
some pretty much. Because I guess I did a cocktail hour stream late last year, like, or it was like in the fall. And I guess EA or somebody either loosely affiliated with or adjacent to EA had done their own list of cocktails, like the full biotic kick, the heat sink, the shadow broker teeny.
ew.
And I'm all for creativity, and I totally get like trying something and like, it's not your style, which is totally fine. I don't believe anybody who has a calendar is going to love every single recipe. But we made all 12 in that list and they were awful. I was like so sad.
They said
There were like
that?
one or two that were pretty. I was just like, what, why,
If you
So
don't
I
have
was
anything
like,
nice
fine,
to say, don't say
fine.
it.
I call it it's like challenge accepted. I want to make something that I like, a list.
Dude, when people
There
say
were a
shit like
couple really
that,
good ones, but
it's like,
no.
make your own then.
Yeah.
Make your own.
So I did.
Yeah, so you
I
did.
did. Yeah. Then again, I think I have to say that I probably halfway through, I think I was just speed pouring. I was not measuring. So there
Measuring
is
is
a
for
chance that
losers.
that's right. There is definitely a chance that like I should go back and remake some of them
Mm.
and actually like just sit down and go, do I actually like this? Do I actually not like it? And if I don't, why? So another time
So,
though.
unofficial interview question. What's it like walking around this talented? Like you're good at a lot of
Talented?
shit. Yeah. That was from my sister. She literally
Thank you.
texted me 30 minutes ago about how talented you are and what's it like to walk around that talented. I'm like, I don't know, Pipeman's a triumph.
Honestly, a lot of times it is I feel like I've spread myself too thin and that um you know, I have branched myself off into like the music world, the mixology world. Um you know, I grew up in a wood shop, so I've done way too much carpentry. Um you know, fine woodworking? Yeah, I guess, you know. I can, you know, I've only hit my thumb once with a hammer, but like a lot of times I feel like I've spread myself too thin. And so I don't know whether I have like ADHD but a lot of times I'll have so many projects going on in different fields. I'll be like, okay, I need to stop like adding new thing. I need to just stop and
Oh, I feel that so
finish one
hard.
thing. Pipe Girl will tell you all about it.
Yeah.
I have so many unfinished
My
projects.
husband's always like, why are you don't have to do all that. Mine's not like talent based, but like work based. Like I got my degree and then I got a job and then me and Jen started this podcast and I was still fostering neonatal kittens and like running
That's
around
talent.
volunteering.
Yeah,
And
that's
then he was
talent
just like,
though.
you don't have to be doing all this. And I'm like, how do I stop? I don't know how to stop.
It's I will say I don't think I could foster kittens.
Oh,
I don't
the
think
bottle
it no.
babies. They're like newborns. You got to wake up in the night and stuff. I haven't had any for a few months
Oof.
now. Long story, that Humane Society closed in like a controversy. It was crazy, but it's fine because we're moving anyway. So I'll find a new shelter when we move. Yeah, but yeah, I loved that. I mean, this cat right here was one of my first ones.
Hmm.
And I got him when he was 10 days old when I worked
Uh,
at the San Diego Humane Society.
It is now bumping
And
up against my bedtime where
oh
I
yeah, I
have
know.
to
We
work
should
on
probably
audio
go.
tonight because I still haven't
This is what
produced
happens.
Cyberpunk for the week.
Yeah, that's true. This is what happens because me
Oh,
and Piper
yeah.
haven't
Fucking
spoken in
slacker.
literally a year.
A year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it's Saturday. I don't work today.
Ah. I don't
Yay. I
either.
don't.
But my kid is sick and she's gonna wake up early and not sleep
Ugh.
in. So yeah, it's not fun. Have kids stay
Having a
sad.
kid, taking care of a sick kid, talent.
No, it's more like survival.
It's you
Barely,
know, just because
barely.
you don't see talent in yourself doesn't mean it's not there.
Aw, thanks.
It's
I have
yeah.
Krogan
No, there's
duty in the morning.
Apollo. He's like, what's
yeah. You have to,
happening? V's the one who's trying to stay up late. I was yawning through the whole episode because I'm so tired. But yeah, and I'm talkative right now, I guess. Okay, just kidding. Bye everybody. Have a good night's sleep. Thank you for joining us.
I should have showed you guys this.
You should have led with that. That's
I really
awesome.
should have. Well, my phone and mouse were on it, so
I love it.
oops.
Beautiful,
beautiful.
picture.
No, I think like Liara is my crush because it's
I've
that
got
balance between nerddom
got
and
Liara right there. Ooh,
oh yeah, nice.
a little tiny itty bitty from this
Yeah.
distance. But yeah, I got her.
Oh, I'm
I don't
not
have
withering
cares.
muffin. I'm not tired at all. It's only 9 o'clock at my time. I'm bitching about the fact that I have to spend like 3 to 4 hours of audio editing tonight so that way I
Yeah.
can wake up tomorrow morning and go take care of Lex at like starting at like 8 o'clock in the morning. That's the part where I'm like, I have baby duty tomorrow morning. It's not about needing to go to bed tonight. I just got kiddo.
Yeah.
I
We
did
got shit to
record about
do.
90% of my end. So if there's anything that you need, I can
Oh.
I can just send
Oh,
you
good.
my recording.
Night
Yeah.
I missed like the